Hey, my name is Sven. I'm a photographer from Germany. I'm the founder of SOULMATE Presets, aka Small Presets, and I'm back with a new set of presets, profiles, and masks called HONEY HUE. I really worked my butt off the last 1.5 years to create a set of presets, profiles, and masks that help you not only edit so much faster and easier, but also helps you finding your unique creative voice you want to put out there. Even if you start with the same base, there's so much variety and possibility to mix and match the profiles with the presets, with the masks, and with the toolkit that comes with it, that you in the end will always have the full possibility of your photos. And yeah, that's enough said, I think. Let's get started. So we will start with this cute little family. You will, on the top left corner, you will always find the informations like focal lengths, shutter speed, ISO, all this good stuff. And if provided, then there will also be the name of the photographer who took this photo. So we will start with this family, and I will simply show you what this will look like by just one-clicking through the presets first. So that's one click. You see, they're all different changes. I also clustered them into their different batches, like these are cool and more neutral, but even if they say cool or neutral, they all, that's why the name is HONEY HUE, they are all covered in a nice and warm layer of honey colored warm tones. So the next preset here will be the warmer ones, and you see that they get a little bit richer in the whole warmth. And you go down, and even the last two of the warm ones will be like really warm. But I will show you later how amazing they can be on different photos. And I've even made 3 dreamy hazy ones for the people who really like a soft look and more like a dreamy look, like this one. See, I think that's amazing. And this one, and there are also like 3 nice black and whites that look like this. I have made one with like slightly warm blacks. I don't know if it's maybe cliche or something, or too sepia, but I liked it for this set. I don't know, it adds some interest and it's more like dreamy for me. So yeah, let's decide on one preset here. I don't know. Let's see. I often use the top left navigator to like scroll through the presets. I disabled the preview on the full size photo because it was annoying me when I just was searching for something, and also it's heavier on your computer. So I would recommend doing that, and I would also recommend going here in your editing panel, right click these panels and activate solo mode. Solo mode just means that you can open one panel and it will close all other panels, so it's not so cluttered. But I like it. If you don't like it, don't do it. So yeah, this photo is now edited one click with HONEY HUE 7. Nothing else. I think it already looks amazing. In my opinion, I wouldn't do really anything more. They also have gorgeous skin, so I don't think anything is there that we would have to do with any masks so far. I can show you the before and after here. And yeah, I think that's, for my liking, that's enhanced enough. That's beautiful enough. Probably you could use HONEY HUE 11 as well. I mean, it all depends on what look you want to go for, but I enjoy 7 or 11 here right now. But I probably would go with 11 for my own taste because it's a little bit warmer. And maybe now I would go, I would just change, no, I wouldn't change anything. I really think this is already amazing. I will still show you, just for demonstrating purposes, what some of the AI masks can do. We have 48 AI masks that are at some point really complex, some are really simple, and you can mix and match them. So for example, one I really like to use is called Painterly Background. So and you see it's getting like really soft background, and you can simply go over here to the amount slider and decide how much you want of this effect, right? So I would just do it subtle because I think it makes them pop out more out of the photo and gives this overall photo a little dreamy look, right? And I think the only thing now I would do probably is I would love to have this whole background a little bit darker. And for this purpose, the contrasty background or the subject pop background will be amazing. And as I told you, you can mix and match, you can stack these over each other, and with the amount slider you always decide basically decide over the opacity of each mask. So now I will click the subject pop background. You see it's now really dark, and it's obviously too dark for my taste at least. Some people might like it. So I will reduce it like so, and we'll have this overall richer look. And now I'll show you the before and after again. Here, let's go full size so you can see. And this is my edit, this is the before, and I really love the after. It's a nice and warm, enhanced contrast, more contrasted, amazing look in my opinion. So that's it for this photo, I think. And we will go to the next one. The next one is, the next one is by Tamara Hamilton, and it's obviously, the raw file is obviously too cold, as we can see that the whites are blue, and it's obviously also too dark. But normally I would now adjust the white balance a little bit and would adjust the exposure probably, but I will start with the preset so you see what happens if this is your base as a photo. And since this is a sunset photo, I would right away go to the warmer ones, and I'm just now scrolling through the ones to find maybe the one I like. That's probably, I think HONEY HUE 15 looks great just by and that's a one-click edit, right? That's a one-click. I haven't done anything yet. I haven't corrected the white balance, which I should. I haven't corrected the exposure at all right now, and I will show you some more thing why the profiles are so amazing. I won't increase the overall preset because I think the contrast and all looks fine to me, but I want to have it warmer. So what I will do first, before starting with the white balance, I will go into the profile here in the profile section and increase the profile amount. See? And what the profile does, it first off lights it up a little bit, makes it a little bit softer in the contrast and blacks area, but also will add a lot of warmth, right? See? The more I go, the more warmth I get. I will decide for 125, I think is fine. But I will still adjust the white balance a little bit, because the over white balance will affect the more of the skin tones as well. And I think they could have a little bit more of this. And they absolutely need a little bit more magenta tint. It's a little bit too green for my taste. So like this. And yeah, I might pull down the exposure just like that, just a tiny bit. And this is right now, I've applied the preset, changed the profile, and only slightly adjusted the white balance, and only minus 0.1 the exposure. And this is already our before and after. Let me show you. No, what the fuck is going on? Why? There's something wrong. Before and after is not accurate at all. So let me show you something. Let's reset. This is an even, you see the photo was unexposed, and after the profile and after the preset I don't even have to increase the exposure because the preset did all the work for me. And since the background is so amazing right now, I want to go into the masks. I mean, this is a full edit for me already. I could leave it like that and I would be happy with it. I will go into the masking, and there's a sky landscape mask. And there is something called sky dramatic. And there's a bottom, middle, and a top option. So I will click the top one first, and I will show you later why. Now, once it is applied, you can again change the amount here. You can increase or decrease it, and I will show you this. I will just subtly enhance it. I always think often less is more. I think just like give it a little bit more like of this effect instead of just going totally crazy, right? So I will leave it at 58 right now, and I will show you what the middle and bottom will do. Right now you see there is no edge here. No, you can't really tell that there was a mask applied, right? But if you go to the middle, it will shift down, or even the bottom will be even lower. And you will see that if you go crazy, that you will get this line here, right? and we don't want lines like that because it's not beautiful. And so what the mask will do, they will fade out in different areas. And you would have full control still over the mask afterwards if you say, I want this fade to have in a totally different place. But in most cases, the top, middle, and bottom will work depending on where your horizon is, right? So that's the sky dramatic mask, and I will leave it like that. And we'll probably then just use one of the landscape masks as well, but I don't know which one, probably the warm one because it's sunset. And also just adjust the amount. I mean, I could go like that, but that's too much for me. I will go again like 70, and this is the after, and this is what we started with. And I mean, I've explained now a lot and it takes me way longer. Normally this would be like a few second edit. It's not even taking me a minute or anything. And let's go to the next one. Here's like a nice fall photo. I mean, we will soon have fall everywhere, so I think that's a nice example of showing what the presets do. I'm again only scrolling through these to decide on some, and I will most likely look on the background right now to see which one gives me the colors I want for this photo in the background mainly. I think I like number 7 here. This is HONEY HUE 7. This is a one-click edit, right? So nothing. I could again go in the profile section and warm it more up. It will lift it and make it a little bit lighter, warmer, or I could even combine it with a warmer white balance here, like so. And then maybe decrease the exposure just a tiny bit to make it a little bit richer. And yeah, that's it. That's basically my before and after. And I think that looks pretty amazing as a fall photo for me. And next one, I would try to edit a few of these photos really quickly so we can get as many as possible in a video and don't have to be here for too long. But I also will show you some in-depth functions of all the masks and how to combine them and what to do and what you can, what's possible. So again, here for this photo, I would just scroll through. You also could just click through, right? I mean, this is a one click, and this is obviously also too cold, right? You can see that it's a bit too cold, a bit too dark, and this is what you get with one click on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then here are the hazy ones, 19, 20, and 21. Then there's the black and white, the other black and white, and the third black and white. So I think I liked HONEY HUE 9 when clicking through. Yeah, I really like this one. I would just slightly increase the exposure, and then I would probably just a tiny bit give it a bit more of the golden HONEY HUE profile. It's on 75 right now, and I will go to 105, like so. I think this is great. Now what I can show you here, I can show you some of the retouching masks that I made for you to have an easy retouching workflow, so you don't have to leave Lightroom anymore, just can stay in Lightroom and don't have to go to any other stuff. So regarding the retouching, those two ones, the two masks with the 3 stars, are basically full retouching masks. They have several masks built in, so you have a one-click mask that will enhance the eyes, work on the lips, the hair, and the skin. Or you could go down here and enhance certain things step by step instead of using the full mask. Or if you say, I only want the skin to be retouched a little bit and I don't want to have eyes or anything enhanced, right? So, and if you decide to, I will now use the complete portrait retouch mask, and we'll show you what happens. We'll show you how to adjust it, and we'll show you what you can do just within the AI masks toolkit instead of going into the masking panel as well. So I will click the complete retouching. It will take a bit of time. These masks always could, depending on your computer, could load a little bit longer. It just depends on how fast your computer can work with it, and because it's a complex mask and not only just applying one mask or one filter. So now it's on 100, and I will zoom in so you can see what happens, and I will go to 0, that's 0, and that's like 100, and now we will go like bonkers and go to 200. And I mean, if you like this super soft look and this highly creamy soft skin, then I probably think you will go to 200. I personally won't. That's just not my taste for editing, or not my preference. So I would just leave it at 100 here for the purpose to show you what's possible. So now you see the eyes are already enhanced, and on 100 it might be not enough for you. So you can click the enhance eyes and it will replace the eye enhancing built in the complete portrait retouch. So you click enhance eyes, and now it's on 100, that's the same, but now you have the possibility to change the enhance eyes settings, here in the amount slider, and you can simply make it stronger or not. It's really subtle. I don't like these alien eyes, you know. I like when my eyes look natural but clean. So this is like nothing, and this is the full like 200. And as you can tell here, I will show you what happens. See the whites in the eye, the iris, and everything gets a little bit more contrast, a little bit more pop. It just makes them more lively and more cleaned up as compared to no mask. And I think that's perfect for retouching. If you like more, of course, you can use any brushes or you can completely go crazy, but I think it's totally fine if I just go on 100 here. And yeah, that's it. I wouldn't touch anything anymore at this photo right now. Let's go to the next one. It's from Jamie Zonderman. It's one of our moderators. So I think I've shown this photo on other presets as well, but I just like it because it also shows a typical photo for a lot of photographers. It's a little bit underexposed. It's in a greenery. It's an open sky, and so I would just show you what happens after one click, and then what I would do afterwards. I would just click through. I would just watch the navigator again and decide for one. And I definitely want her red hair to be enhanced here as well. So 13 wasn't bad. 16. Probably go with 4 here. And that's the one click, right? So just to remind you, that's before and after, and that's just after clicking the preset. That's nothing done so far. That's just the preset. And I'm still stoked. I think that's so good. And I always try to improve my presets, so all the other 7 sets I've made, I'm always convinced that they get better, and I know there is this huge group favorite from all of us, but I really think this one is so good. And even if you want to use small again, you can use all these masks. You can use the profiles on small as well, which I will show you later. And so you can even mix and match all these tools with all your other sets. So there's no point in not getting this new toolkit for you to get on the next level. I promise you, this is so good. I'm really convinced. So what I would do with this one, I love often if the photos are underexposed or a little bit too cool, instead of, which I was doing before, and before I would simply change the white balance right and then the exposure. Now I always start with increasing the profile. And this one, for this photo now, it's the film Honey Hues, which has like a little bit of like a slight green tint in the highlights and all, to give it like this vintage film-like feel, but I don't think it's really crazy noticeable here. I think it just works well with this photo. So I will increase the profile, and what you see it gets more of this vintage feel now, and it gets a little brighter, right? So I think at 100 I'm fine with it for now. Now we'll just slightly increase the exposure and probably warm up the white balance as well, but not as far as I normally would have done without the profile. So like so, and probably give it a little bit magenta tint because of the whole, often if you have a green scenery and the sun is hitting the grass and everything, then you will have this little bit of green color cast in skin, right? So to counterbalance that, instead of going in the HSL settings, which you can do of course, but the first thing you always should do is change your white balance tint. The cameras often don't pick up that there is so much green around, and they will not correctly set the white balance tint, and then you have this color cast on the skin. And if you start changing the HSL settings and then try to copy paste it on other photos of the same session, then you will wonder, why is it not working? Why is it not a cohesive look through all the photos? That's because if the white balance is different on all other photos and you copy paste these settings and you have just switched the HSL settings, then due to the different white balance, it will always look off on some photos. So it's easier to start with the white balance. Start in the basic panel. Lightroom is built in the order of importance. It starts from the bottom and goes to the, it starts from the top. We started from the bottom, of course, but Lightroom starts at the top, goes to the bottom in the order of importance. So, and this is the order you should go through. Start with the basics and go further down if you need to. In my opinion, you often don't need to. So I would just change the white balance tint a little bit, like to 15, because I think that's not perfect. And just to show you more of the AI masks, I will show you what's possible. One of my favorite masks is called Blue Golden Background. It basically enhances the blue sky and gives your background or foreground, landscape, whatever, a nice, warm, contrasty look. So I would just click this. And that's just after applying this mask. And now if I like, I could increase, of course, like crazy, or I could lower it if I say I just want a subtle change. But I think at 100, this enhances the photo perfectly. I have now here some clouds, I have some blue, I have more color, and I love it. One more thing I could make, if you like more contrast, and I know a lot of you maybe like more contrast because it's also a popular form of editing right now, and I'm a sucker for contrast too. So let's go to the adjustments. And there you find a contrast map. And you could also, I will show you, could also, of course, just increase the contrast. But what you see, it messes with the skin tones and it somehow doesn't look so good like we were hoping for. The contrast map is not just only adding contrast. It's a complexer setting instead of the contrast setting and will protect your skin tones. And that's something that I've built in basically all masks, in all all the presets and all the profiles. It somehow always protects the skin tones. So we get accurate skin tones, but we can go crazy with every other part of the photo, because we often don't have to change the subject, and it's more than enough to change the whole background and everything to get the look and feel we like, right? Of course, location, wardrobe, posing, everything plays a role for the feeling we want to transport, but changing the background will change the overall feeling of your photo, and I will show you now what we can do. So the contrast map, go back to the contrast map, is not only adding contrast, but will get your photos way more of an oomph and like a wow factor instead of just changing the contrast settings. So we click the contrast map, and now we can increase it, and you see the skin tones are not messed up, but the contrast gets higher. So I increase the contrast now. We'll probably make it a little bit brighter with this more contrast now. And I think that's now before and after. Now the amazing thing with the contrast map. Let's say you like the contrast in the top part and everywhere, but you say, oh, I don't know the contrast here in the grass. I'm just guessing on, it's all just demonstrating purpose, right? I would leave it like that, but you can now go into the masking section, which is on top here. It's the little dotted circle. You click here, and now they are perfectly labeled, so you always know what's going on. You could still click on all these masks, and you can still adjust every little part of it. I could go into the golden background from the golden blue background mask we applied and just change the opacity of this one, or increase it, even make it warmer or colder with this one, and decide how much I want. I could also go in the blue sky and say I want more blue sky or I want less. So you can just perfectly also change all the settings you like. Now with the contrast map, if you say you don't like this here, you simply click here on subtract, and then you can decide what you like. You could, for example, just use a brush, and then I will probably adjust the flow not too high, and the feather needs to be a bit bigger, and then you could start brushing off a little bit of the mask here and around the subject, maybe to make him stand out more here from the background. and leave only the corners like this, you know? So you can just paint and paint and paint what you like. Or if you don't like that, I would just revert this brush here and remove it. You could also click subtract and use the linear gradient and just pull it up from here. So, or like so, if you like. And you can just decide how much you want of this contrast map added somewhere, right? And now I can go into the contrast scene. If I increase it, it will simply not affect the bottom right corner. So you have full control over every little detail in these edits. No matter how many masks you click, you will always have all these possibilities. And I will show you before and after. And that's what we came up with. And of course, due to my explaining all the things, it will always look like it takes longer, but it's not. It's so super fast. And yeah, I'm so convinced that these will get you wherever you want, whatever you want. You will need no other tool, no other brushes, not for now. You won't need anything else. In my opinion, you can do it all here. And yeah, let's go to the next photo. So let's go back to our presets and select one. I would just, for this one, I would just click through all so you can see what they are differently do. And this photo, of course, is also, it's a little bit too cold and it's also maybe a tad too dark, but this is a one click on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't count with you. I will just click and you will see what I clicked, right? So. And here you can see with these photos, you can also see the different profiles and how they are sometimes more vintage, sometimes they are just warm, sometimes they are a little bit cooler and something. So, you know, they all have a different look, but in the end you can just click through and you decide on the look you like. I can't even decide right now. I would just look, I would probably, yeah, I will look which one give me the best look on her eyes. I think 14 is amazing for her eyes in this case. And, oh, that's a little bit too far zoomed in. What I can see is the focus is more here, probably in front of here. So it's not perfectly touching her eye. And I will show you one more option from my AI toolkit. So first off, I will increase the profile again because I like warm photos, and I will warm up the white balance a bit, like so. And what we will do now is I would love to go into the background a little bit because the background is a little bit too cool for me, so I will probably go into the golden glow background. I will click that, and now I can decide how warm I want the background. And you see what I told you before is the background changes the mood. I don't touch the subjects right now. You see, I'm just warming up the background and it feels so much warmer, but I have amazing skin tones because I've just changed the background. So I will warm it up to have this super warm, nice photo. And like I said, her eyes are not perfectly in focus, and I have built some adjustment masks here as well. There's one called Rescue Mist Focus. I don't know, it's not really rescuing the focus, but at least it's making it way better, in my opinion, that you get the feel of sharper photos if your focus is only slightly a bit off. You know, sometimes somebody moves and then you have the perfect expression and you are sad that you can't use the photo. I think in this scenario this works pretty well. For everything else where it's far off, then you probably need other tools, but often these photos can't be used anyway. So, or you just embrace the fully unfocused or misfocused picture and just send it out to your clients. So I will click Rescue Mist Focus, and what this mask will do is basically enhance the areas that the human eye is naturally drawn to. And as you can see here, it's now, I will show you, this is was like 168 of amount. If I go to 0, that's like this, and I can go to like 200, and this oval area feels more contrasty and it's a little bit sharper, right? So yeah, I really like it. What I could do now is probably, but they don't need it really. No, they don't need any skin retouching. I could show you the skin retouching because it's a nice close portrait and you can see it better. So I would just show you the soft and skin pro as it called in my set. And you click it and you can or increase it as much as you like. And let's say I like it like that. But what we don't lose is, even if the skin gets way softer, and that's something I'm really proud of with these you don't lose the texture of the skin, right? You get a smoother skin feel and it's like really glowy, but you don't lose the texture of the skin. And I think texture gives life to photos. If you remove all texture, then it's nice and creamy, but it's dead for me. It's not transporting the emotions I like to see. Okay, so that's for me. That's the portrait for me. I don't need anything more. Let's go to the next one, and I will now go a little bit faster, I think, on this one, just to show how easy it can. Obviously, this again is too cool. It's maybe from the exposure it's not too bad, but it's definitely way too cool. We can see that his skin here feels gray and blue, and the sun is coming somewhere from the left. So I will simply go to the warm presets again right away, I think. I'm just looking for which grass color I like. Maybe 15 on this one. I will go with Honey Hue 15 on this one. And I will, of course, now, instead of fixing it by myself, if sometimes I'm not sure how to adjust the white balance and I don't know which time of the day it was, or I don't remember exactly what time, then I simply go to Auto White Balance. Right, and this is one click preset and one click on auto white balance, and now I just decrease the exposure a little bit, like so, and now I probably have it in a way better ballpark, at least for my feelings, and I wouldn't change a lot here. I probably would decrease the profile here in this case a little bit to give it a little bit more pop, because it feels slightly too less contrasty, and this is like a typical Canon R file, I think. It's a CR3. They miss a little bit of contrast. They always feel like a little bit less contrasty, but I will show you how to fix it really easily with one option of the toolkit, because I'm thinking about you guys. I want you to have an easy way of editing, right? So before we now go into any masking, I will go to the toolkit. And there are also the options to apply a different profile with just an amount of 70, because most presets have their none of these presets have the amount of the profile at 100. They are mostly like 70, 80. That's like the perfect range, because I wanted to leave some playing room for you guys. And you could now, of course, also apply a different profile, which you can see in the top left corner, would change the look immediately. Like this is the dreamy one, which I like because it makes it like so nice and soft. Which is the film one, which makes it feel vintage. Then you have the golden one, and you have the warm one. The golden one, the warm one the golden one has a little more red undertones, while the warm one is really just orange warm from the profile. So I don't know, the dreamy one looked so good and I wasn't expecting that, but I would probably just keep the golden one right now for this one here. And now, for a lot of Canon R users that struggle with the colors, you can simply go here to the tone curves, and this is an on-top tone curve. It's not a tone curve from the normal RGB settings. It's a parametric tone curve, and the awesome thing is here, you click the S tone curve, so you get more. And see, right now the Canon R file right away looks so much better. And now the amazing thing with the amount slider from Lightroom is you can decide how strong your S tone curve will be. And I will show it to you. If you go into the parametric tone curve here, right? And let's say I increase the tone curve to 200 and let it go, see? It will adjust the tone curve for you. If you go down, it even will, if you go to 0, it will even flatten out the parametric tone curve. So you can have full control over the contrast and the tone curve with just this slider, instead of fiddling around with these settings over there. So you just look at the picture and you take this like that, and let's go to the basic settings. Now, I mean, I see all these nice clouds here in the background, so obviously I want to enhance those. So I go to the sky and landscape section for this photo, and we'll probably first use the sky purple blue. It's it's more like a coloring mask. And what I like to do sometimes, because you don't have only purple blue skies or warm skies, you sometimes have these mix between warm and purple skies. So I like to sometimes use the purple blue sky and add the sky warm on top, and just like, so, you know, now you get this little sunsetty feeling in the background. And now I like to use a dramatic sky mask on top of this. And now I will demonstrate what happens if you just click through with the you see now this year, for example, for my personal taste, I don't like these when you get these harsh lines because of too strong masking, you know, and I see it really often. So what I like to do is I like to use a fade in like this, or you could even fade it further, because naturally every sky has a gradient from the top. God damn, what's going on with the bottom top today? Naturally, every sky has a gradient from the bottom to the top, because when the sun sets lower, it's illuminating the lower area of the sky. So I would probably go with the middle one here, because the middle one looked pretty good, and I would just decrease it a little bit because I didn't want it to have it so strong. And yeah, I think for me that's it as an edit. I will show you the before and after, and this is how quickly we can go from this photo on the left to this amazing photo on the right that tells a story. And then the amazing thing with the mask is, even if you say now, oh damn, maybe I should have chosen a different preset, then you simply go back into the presets and you choose another one, and you say, maybe, no matter, it just doesn't matter. You can choose anything you like, and all you have to do after you've decided on one of these is, yeah, I don't know, you can just click one. I think I like one of the really warm ones on this one because of the vintage feel. Or here was one, let's say, I think we start with 15, and I like 14 probably a little better because the greens are less saturated. And now we go just back to the toolkit, because obviously the tone curve for the R models is not so good. So we just improve this one, and that's it. And now we have another edit done so easily. And I will show you what the masks are doing. We go in here and just disable the masks, right? I think no more masks are needed, but this is, for me, this is absolutely amazing. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, that's a beautiful photo. Alison Tucker. So let's go to the presets. I would just look. This has a kind of warm white balance already, I think, from just what I see. I don't know if this was white, because here it's white and here it's more yellow. So I'm not sure. I probably think the white balance is a tad too warm. When I look at the whites here, they don't feel too... But I won't touch it right now. I will just show you what happens with the presets, right? So I will click Honey Hue 1, 2, so you can just see what happens with the photo. I think I like 4 here on this one. I really like 4 on this one, or 9. Yeah, these are good. This is good as well. I don't know. Maybe we can go with one of the hazy ones here. The hazy one is great as well. But, or black and white. This black and white is great. I think 4 was good. I think I like 4. I will keep 4. I think 4 looks great. And yeah, what I would do is probably not a lot of here, because that's just a one-click edit for me. So I would probably leave it like that and have it like greatly enhanced and beautiful. So maybe if you like, you can always go in there, right? And you could say you want a more... I will show you one of the masks I like as well. It's like called soft and colorful background, which is, I mean, it's pretty descriptive. So you see this, the background gets softer but more colorful, and like I told you before, the background changes the mood. It's so crazy. Now we have it way warmer and more colorful and a little bit softer. They are popping more. And if you say it's too soft or too colorful, you just reduce it, and you can still stack it with something else. Or if you like it more warm, or if you like it cooler, here like the cinematic background will cool down the background. Or if you say you only want to change the landscape, the landscape masks always are just affecting everything landscape besides the sky, right? So you say one more moody, for example, then you click the landscape moody and decide how much, and you simply go from this background to this one, just a little bit softer, warmer. But yeah, for me it's not necessary here to really add something. I also think she has beautiful skin, so no really need to use any skin, but I know a lot of you simply like it, so I closed the mask. We will simply go to retouching, click the Soften Skin Pro, and now we can decide how much we want it to soften, like so. Now it's super creamy. I would probably just remove this here. And yeah, this is it. You could probably now also play with the white balance if you say, oh, I don't know, the skin is maybe a little bit too warm for me or not. You see, a subtle white balance change will also change the skin tones here drastically. Or I could remove a little bit of the profile to get out some warmth. So you have still full control over the warmth for your own taste, but I like it as it was, and I wouldn't touch the white balance here. And now I will move on to the next one. Also a typical photo for a lot of you, like it's in a shaded area, sunset, and really cute. I would just straighten it because I can't edit crooked photos, like so. I will go to the mask again, and not to the mask, to the presets again. Let's say, I don't know. I would just click any, I don't even know. I'm just brighten up the exposure because it's obviously crazy unexposed, and maybe we can do my little outer white balance trick here. Now it's not working. You see, it made the white balance even colder, which is obviously not correct. And I would just go a lot warmer with the white balance here because she's sitting in the shade. Sometimes if you don't click outer, you can simply think about what was the situation. Was it cloudy? Were we in the shade? I think it's more like a shade cloudy area white balance, like so. And then you can give it more of magenta tint because of the green scenery again. And I feel like I didn't correct the rotation perfectly, like so. And this is Honey Hue 6 plus white balance and exposure. So yeah, nothing crazy. Let's go to this one, because this is like really cold. It's like you can see the sun is almost dropping below the horizon, and there's just a little bit sun peeking through, but she's really blue because of the white balance being too cool. So what I would do is I would click again outer white balance, and it has corrected it already a good amount. You see it's crazy magenta, it's probably too much when I look at the skin, and I would go to even warmer white balance until I feel like her dress. And her dress is like, it's this little pinkish tone, and so I will look for a preset that preserves that as good as possible here. And I think 15 is doing a great job here at keeping it. Of course it's really warm. I think it still needs more magenta. It seems like the magenta from the outer white balance wasn't too much. I just decreased it too much now because her skin. And I will still go up with the white balance because this seems like it was pretty late in the day. And I would probably do something like that. And what I would like to do is now here, because we have here like the skin looks a little bit uneven for me, but nothing crazy. And I would go to the softened skin. Oh no, I would probably do the complete portrait retouch, and I will show you something on what this mask is doing. Because I don't know if you noticed already, but let me increase it. Look at the hair. Even the hair gets like smoother, and yeah, gives it a little bit less of this frizz without even touching anything else. So, and if you say I don't like the skin retouched so much, because now with the complete portrait retouch you will enhance all of it, you can decrease it as much as you like. And then again, like I told you, you always get a full control over just through the masks here on the left. You click the satin hair feature, and now you can say I want this hair like super satin, like so. And I would leave it like that. And this makes her hair like so amazingly looking. And I haven't touched anything. I've just clicked the satin hair mask, increased it to 200 and made her hair look just super soft. But I didn't lose any of the details. I've just made it look more healthy in my opinion. And that's it. I wouldn't touch any more of this edit. Let's go to the next one. Again, quite cool of a white balance and a sunset situation. But let's go here to any of the presets, I will just look in the top left corner again and just go for my taste here. I mean, in the end effect, it's all, in the end, it's all your personal preference, right? Which tonality you want in this photo. And I will go with 11 here. We'll warm it up a little bit through the profile, and we'll give it a warmer white balance to give it more life here, and a little bit more tint in the magenta because of the green area again. It's always the same. It's always so similar what you have to edit. He is quite pale, but this is, for me, it's an amazing edit. I don't need anything more. I won't touch any masking here. I think this is a fantastic edit for this photo, in my opinion. I absolutely love it. So let's go to this one and just click any preset. I can already tell as well that the white balance is too cool. It's only at 4900, and it looks, from the time of the day, it looks quite late. I don't know. Well, probably 6 looks good for me here, just the way they pop. So I will click number 6 here, and I will definitely warm up the white balance. Like so. No. Like so, and make it a tad bit brighter. And for this one, yeah, I will move the profile a little bit. For this one, I will absolutely change the background a little bit, because they go down a little bit for me. So I will go to the golden glow background because it makes it warm and nice. And I will decrease it a little bit, and then I will click the subject pop background as well. And just like so. Yeah, and that's it. That's my before and after for this photo here. I think it looks amazing, right? Let's go to the next one. Again, a redhead, of course, and I'm obsessed with redheads. I don't know why, but they just look so amazing for photos. I will just click through, one click here, so you can see again all presets with any touch on the photo like that. It's a little bit too dark, but I will show you just with one click what happens with the presets. And don't wonder if sometimes the difference is maybe not that crazy. Think about that there is not much color going on. It's all just brown skin tones, and like there's not a lot of green or blue or red or anything. So yeah, keep that in mind while looking at these edits. Here's the hazy ones. I love this one and this one as well. The hazy ones work here. If you like this really soft, dreamy look, then these are perfect. Here's the black and white. This one as well. So I don't know. Did somebody memorize which they liked? I don't know. I think I will stick with 12 here. I just like 12 on this one. And again, her eye is not perfectly in focus because probably the focus point was somewhere here in between them. So what I will do is, first off, I will increase the film Honey Hue's profile on this one and warm it up a little bit, just a slightly little bit. And then I will go to the masks, and I will add a soften skin pro again because I'm just so used to a little bit softer skin now. But I will just move it to 65. And what I will do then is rescue missed focus, because I want her eyes to stick out and have her, see, I can show it to you. If you see what's happening to the highlights and everything, this is 0, that's how it was. And that's with the rescue missed focus. It gives just a little bit more pop to this eye, and I think in the zoom out, when you zoom out, it feels like this eye is now sharp as well, and that's what I want to go for. And let's go to the next one. I think we now have, yeah, I will show you, yeah, just quicker a few ones now, because there is some newborn stuff I want to show you because it's amazing. Let's search for any preset. I think here probably most presets will work well, but just look at the difference, right? This is the before and this is the after. Just by clicking a preset, no exposure, no white balance, nothing, and it's normally already a little bit too dark and it's a tad bit too cool, but I think the presets now take care of all of it. And you can just decide how much green do you want or not, and just click through whatever you like. I think I like 12 because it, I don't know, made the perfect green here, but I will decrease a little bit of the profile because it's the film Honey Hue profile and I don't want the highlights to get too green. So, and then I will warm up the white balance and probably just slightly change the exposure like so. And yeah, I think that's an amazing edit. Let's see the before and after here. That's from, yeah, it's basically just preset, adjusted the profile a tad, white balance, and a slight bit of exposure, 4 clicks. And with these 4 clicks, we have this amazing edit. I can't even, yeah, I don't know. So let's go to the next one. And this one is obviously again to code, but this is what happens when shooting auto white balance often, so I'm used to it, and you should get used to it as well. And that's why I'm showing so many of these, because that's how people normally get their photos. But that's absolutely no issue. So let's see, I don't know. I think I go with 7 here, because 7 enhances all these brown green tones in the background. And now I will probably just click auto white balance again. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I will warm it up a lot more, like so. 8500 seems to be a great spot. And I give it a little bit more magenta as well, and just a tiny bit of exposure here, and like so. And her eyes are so good, but I want to have them even more sticking out. So I will go to the enhance eyes, click it, wait for it, and this is like too much, but you see just how much more, like, she now is basically watching right into my soul. I really love it. Looks so good. It looks so fantastic. I would probably soften the skin a little bit, because I mean, kids have pretty soft skin either way, but I like to just even it out a little bit. And what I would do, because it's, I don't know if it's the 50-1.8 STM, I had this lens for really long when shooting Canon, but it was always a little bit soft on contrast. So I would probably go to the masks and use my contrast map just to add this little bit more, but that's too much. Just like 60 of it, just to get this a little bit more popping and more get more dimension into it, right? So what we did so far was we applied the preset, adjusted the white balance, a slightly bit of this exposure, and added the contrast map, and it's done. And we added the skin and eye mask, of course, yeah. But it's all, see, I keep forgetting what I've done because I'm clicking through it so fast, and it's done so easily that I completely forgot that I clicked it, because it was like, I don't know what, we can go back and see it's like a 20-second edit. And now we can see the before and after, like so. And I think that's a freaking fantastic result. And I have a different photo of the same session, and I wanted to show you how to adapt these to different lighting scenarios, because here they are in a totally different spot than here. So what we do now is we shift click on this photo. That's how I often synchronize. Then there is this little sync button. I click sync, check none, and then check all. But what we don't want to include is often lens corrections, the transform, crop and straighten, or any healing, because we don't want to have any strange spots happening somewhere because we healed maybe a blemish somewhere, and then it's popping out over the eye of somebody else. So if you do some lens corrections, then you can use it. I never use these, so I won't apply these. That's why I uncheck all these, and I often also uncheck the noise reduction, because I don't use noise reduction that often. And I would leave it like this is and just click synchronize. And now we go to the next photo, and now it's obviously just too bright because the exposure, we copied the exposure settings of this one, and all we have to do is move down the exposure so it fits. And I think this already looks, now we can have already like a cohesive look. We won't be able to retain the details and the highlights. I can see it here because it's lost. Even if I go, you see here, all the details here are lost. So I won't touch the sky. I would probably, for this photo, if it would be my photo, I would just crop it to have her more full size here, and just have the sun peeking off this top left corner, like so. And I would probably, to have them stick out more because the sun was quite harsh on the background, I would go to my masks. I always close the wrong one. And would probably use one of the, let's say, even either for this purpose to have people stick out more, and if you don't want to change or warm it up or anything, the contrasty background or the subject pop background. The contrasty background will add more saturation, like this. It will be a little more saturated, but make them pop. You can, of course, change the amount, or if you don't want it to have this saturation changed, you go to the subject pop, and this would mostly only give you, let your subject stick out, and you don't have to do anything else. And I think if you now have these two and you look at them at one set, for example, like so, then you have this amazing cohesive look. Skin tones, the colors, the clothing, I mean, everything looks cohesive. There's no doubt about it how cohesive this is. And this was so easy to touch because of the masking and because of all the other profiles and presets. So let's go into develop. Let's go here. And yeah, see, I don't only showcase like perfect photos. I try to show everything, not the ideal light, and try to show what we can do with all the masks and stuff, right? So let's find the first of the fitting preset. I will mostly look for the greenery and how I want this to be. I can't decide, of course, so undecided. Probably should have clicked through just to see him on the big one now. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit too bright after the preset now. And maybe 7 is a little bit richer, 10, 11. I will probably go with one of the warm ones here. Yeah, I think 14 looks great. Yeah, I will go with 14 here. And one problem here for me, yeah, with the lighting is you can see that they have these, the eye sockets seem a little bit dark here and there. And I think it's because of the lighting. And let me fix the white balance first too, so we have accurate colors and accurate light, like so. And what I have, there's an amazing mask in the masks toolkit. It's under the retouching section, because this only affects the people, and everything that only affects the subjects and the eyes here on the retouching. So you can click the even out shadows, and what it will do, it will take care of these too dark areas, because not enough light was coming from the front, and the light was probably pretty high, and it was probably cloudy. And so you can even out the shadows in their faces and everything by just the amount here. That's too much, obviously, but just with a little bit, like so, like 64. I'm just looking at what I like, and see if I now disable this mask, how much this just does for the faces. They are now looking way better, right? So now what I would do to have the focus on them as well, I would go in and change the background again. I would probably use the landscape warm for this one, just not on full opacity for me, and we'll probably add some contrast again, maybe here with the contrast map. Oh, let me see which camera this is, because this looks like it's again Canon R file, and it's a Canon EOS R6. Like I said, I can always tell, because that's what everybody's experiencing. They lack a little bit of contrast, but see, this is without any contrast adjustment so far, and I think this looks amazing. It's a nice, I don't know, the colors are so, this is pretty much the honey hue look. This warm little layer on front. So we could do two things now to help with the R6 files or general R6 R files from the Canon. You can either add the contrast map, which will make it pop and not mess up any skin tones. You see the skin tones look fantastic as well. Or we can remove the contrast map and do again with the toolkit option I told you before, and use the S-tone curve, and which will add a little bit more saturation to the skin as well. So if you need more lively than the contrast map, then use this S-tone curve and apply how much you like it, and you have this one here. And this is again the before and after the S-tone curve, like this. And I think that's a fantastic, good looking edit. So I don't even know what else to show you guys. I just enjoy editing. We have now edited 20 of the 50 I've created here for us. And let me show you this one. I mean, this is to code again. It's around sunset. The sun is pretty low already. And I would simply, yeah, I don't know. I will show you what the one click looks like. Let's go with 11, just because 11 is one of my favorites often. I just enjoy it. You will probably stick with something else, I don't know. I don't really know what you would take, but I will go with 11, and it's obviously too bright, and the white balance is totally off. Let's click auto white balance. So what we have now is, we have with a lowered exposure and the corrected white balance, but we'll still go to a lot warmer, like so. Let's go to 8,500 roughly, like so. With this switch already, we have this to that, and just white balance, exposure, and this. And what I would probably do now would be using some of the background masks I like. I could either use my blue golden favorite background I often use, like so. See, that's nice and subtle enhancement, perfect. Let's remove it. Let's use some you haven't seen now at this moment. There's stunning background, which is a little bit similar to the blue and golden background, but it's definitely more saturated, more contrasty, which looks amazing as well here. Or we go to, let's see, the soft and colorful background, which makes it just super soft and a little bit more colorful. And then we go to the sky again, just use the sky middle dramatic. I would probably use top because of the line again. I don't like it, like so. Or we can use the middle and decrease. No, I like the top one because it's fading out so nicely. And this is a more soft and subtle enhancement of the background. Again, we can always add a contrast map, and the amazing thing about the contrast map is, let's say I want this to have so much contrast like this, right? And you say, nah, I want to use a different preset. You can, and because of all the masking, instead of the individual adjustments here in the basic panel or HSL, if you now click a different preset, it will simply have all these individual choices you made applied to it, because they stay here as on top layers of your presets. So let's say you click one now. Now you can simply go, because you know now in which direction you wanted to go with this photo, with the contrast and the coloration, that you now can simply click through and see which preset gives you the perfect vibe for it, you know? So now we just go vibing. We just search for the vibe. This one looks fantastic, I think. This is, for me, this is like, if you like it a little bit subtle and warm and cozy. Here are the soft ones, the hazy ones. Now it's super soft if you want to, or you even could go and just make it black and white, but that would be a waste of these amazing colors. I think the 17 was amazing for me. I like this one. I keep this one, and I go to the next one. Jolene has a long time member of the SOULMATE and small community. Let me show you what's possible here. I don't even know which way to go again. I will probably look for which preset now gives me the sky I like, the colors in the first place. And I definitely want it to be like pinkish, like sunset colory. So let me see what I can find. I think 5 gives me what I want. And that's a one click, so it's already a little bit too bright for me. So what I will do is here, and I will warm up the white balance, absolutely, and because of the tint. And I need to straighten this photo as well, yeah. As always, we need to have straight photos. I can't work with crooked photos because it's driving me a little bonkers. So let's see if we can adjust the white balance as we like, as we need, like so. And probably can brighten it up a little more. I'm right now focusing a lot of her skin and everything, and to see how her skin color looks and how bright her skin is, because I know I will enhance the background either way. So I will probably go now to my masks again and go to the sky and landscape area, and just first select one of these, the sky sunset warm, the warm sunset, to make it even more warmer. And I will use the warm landscape warm as well, because it's definitely too cool for my taste. And then I would probably add the landscapes. No, what can I do? Let me see. Let's see one, maybe the dramatic background on top of the two changes I made. Like so. A little bit, just a little bit. Or, no, I have a better idea. I don't want to change the background. I will change the overall contrast for this one, I think. I think this needs an overall more pop. Yeah, like so. And one amazing mask I have is also the saturation map. And I will show you something, because this will add a crazy bunch of saturation, but it will not impact any of the skin tones. So we click on the saturation map, which is obviously after the other two maps probably now way too much, but we can now control the overall saturation of all the other parts in the photo. See the dress, his little colored head, so everything gets crazy warm, but his skin tones stay perfect. And we get all this beauty in the background just with a little bit of saturation map and these two other maps. So we have the overall mask here. Let's see with these four masks what happens. This is what masking and the masking tools from HONEY HUE can do. This is amazing, right? I think it looks fantastic. I wouldn't change a thing. I don't think she needs any skin retouching, but maybe we could set in her hair a bit, because I just like it, because it gives it a bit more like power. Makes it a little bit more healthy looking, like so. It's not changing the colors, it's just making it more, yeah, let's do it like this with the satin hair, and that's it. So let's go to a newborn photo, and I think this one will like make you excited. I am 100% convinced. If you shoot newborns, obviously. So let's see what we got here. We probably can auto white balance this as well. And then we search for a fitting preset. I would probably go with 7 here on this one. Is it warm enough for my taste? Yeah. We'll probably warm it up. Give it a bit more. So, yeah. Maybe we can add contrast here just a little bit again instead of the map. Like so. And what I now have, I have a mask called Newborn Retouch. I talked about it earlier, but I didn't use it so far. So I will just click this Newborn Retouch. And this is after one click of the Newborn Retouch. And if you, I don't know if you noticed, but do you see? A lot of his blemishes are already gone. His, hers, I don't even know, sorry. See? We haven't done we haven't removed anything right now. It's just the mask. It's only the mask. And the amazing thing about this Newborn Retouch mask is you can go into the masking, then you click remove redness, right? And then there's this color range. And with this picker, you will have to always adapt for the newborn you're shooting. I mean, the redness, you see, if I see, now I've only covered the redness here, or I click this one here, then it gets perfectly the right red tone, you know? And if you feel like you can't touch the right reds, you can simply go into here in the color range and refine the areas, right? You can decide how much you want it to be affected. But yeah, if you see, that's how the redness is gone. But I think the first automatic redness was perfect. Maybe I can touch it here better. Yeah. And I will probably warm it up a bit more now. Yeah, like so. And lower the exposure now because the redness is gone. And that's it. That's again here the before and after. And now you could of course go into more extensive skin editing, or you can at least remove a few of the blemishes and the little bit dirt in his eyes and everything, so to perfect it. But I think that's an amazing base for just the mask and a little bit of adjusting the white balance to your liking. And yeah, I think that's what you can ask. Oh, one more mask I have is it's called the background mask. is, no, I will show you later on a different I have more photos of this. Let me go to another newborn here. I will do the same thing as before. I think it's, yeah, that's typical for Canon as well. The 85 1.8, when I had it, and it was also kind of soft. It's not so contrasty. And yeah, we need to correct the white balance here, obviously. I think that looks already way better. Then let's click to any preset, I don't know. I think I would just go with one here because it's pretty natural looking, and I will move my warmth up a little bit more and increase my profile because I want more layer of warmth over it. And this one definitely needs contrast for me as well. So I will use the, no, I can't. This one, because it's a new one, I will use the tone curve because he can get some more saturation in the skin. It's fine, like so. And now I will only apply the newborn retouch again because it worked so perfectly with the other one, and now I just want to showcase it. Let's go into the masks and click newborn retouch, and you see already a lot of redness is gone. But like I told you, you can go in and find the perfect spot for redness. Sometimes it's better to pick a darker place. I think this is already a lot better, but maybe a little bit too strong. So we can go on the remove redness and just, yeah, remove or decide how much of the redness we want to have removed. And we could probably duplicate this layer if we like, and then go to color range and pick some of this one here on top. Oh, it's not picking, I have to zoom in. Here's a little spot, you know, and I can refine it to the darker areas. You can click show overlay here, and then you know how much you want from it. No? Yeah, it's doesn't want to pick this one up that I want to pick up. I think this is good. And now we remove the show overlay, zoom out. And now I can decide how much. Again, I want to have this removed as well. And with these two remove redness masks, we simply have done this edit. And see, and that's without extensive editing. Of course, you could remove these blemishes again, and skin retouching is often required for newborn photography, and we won't get away with all of it. But I think this gives you such an easy and great base to, yeah, just get started, or you get so quick, so great edits. That's, I don't know, you can, I've said I don't know so much because I'm blown away by the set that I think it will take you to the next level for sure. So let's see what it's done with this photo here. Let's go to 7 or so, just click one. I can click through other ones. I just pulled down the exposure a little bit because it was doing a little bit too much for me on this, on shadow side. And 10 is great as well. 7, it all depends now just which tones we like. And I feel like 7 or 10. 7 or 10. I will go with 7 this time. Let's make it a tad bit brighter, and let's see what our mask can do to give this background and her skin a little bit of treatment. I would go to the complete portrait retouch because they both have long hair, and I always love that the hair, and I would probably like go like so. And let's see what the background, because I think here I want to preserve the blues, and then this is obviously warm, so let's go with the blue golden because I love it. And it's obviously a little bit too much, but yeah, I will keep it on 100 because I like how the foreground looks, but the sky is too much. So I will go into this mask, go to the blue sky and just reduce it to the amount I like, and think like at 35 it's perfect for me. So let's see, probably will warm it up a little bit more because I feel like it can handle a little bit more warmth, and like so. And this is the before and after. And of course you could always go way more drastic, right? So if you like this really crazy, you could also add the dramatic background on top of it. If you like, say I just want it more dramatic, or if you don't like the dramatic affecting the sky, you can go here and go to the warm, colorful, or moody, and always enhance anything, or you can just click the subject. Or if you say you want more contrast, like I told you, you can add the contrast map, or you could dodge and burn, for example, the background or the people here. Let's go dodge and burn all. This is often a little bit strong, but you can see that's a more typical dodge and burn look if you go higher, see? This is like, if you really wanted to dodge and burn, it's like the typical dodge and burn. It will emphasize the highlights and blacks and everything. Yeah. But I liked it without the dodge and burn, so I will remove the dodge and burn. And I would probably just add a little bit, a smidge of contrast here, because I like it. And that's, for me, a perfect edit. I will show you again. Let's go to the next one. A typical photo with a lot of greenery. And this is, again, definitely too cool. And due to the green around, the skin will look probably a little bit too green as well. And I have to straighten this photo first. And let's correct the white balance here a little bit. And just search for preset. Is probably also too bright, right? Let's go with 11, because I often love 11 here. And this is with white balance adjustment. And yeah, like always, the tint has to be adjusted if it's so green around them. And I already like this edit. I think I wouldn't do a lot. I probably, as far as I think, we could enhance the sky, definitely. Let's go with the dramatic sky top a little bit. And I would probably color it a little bit differently. Just slightly on top, and maybe the sky warm as well, like the mixed sunset I told you before, to get this one. And this is, for me, already a great edit. I would leave it like that, because I love my edits lately a lot softer, and you could always go in and add contrast like this. The contrast map, for example, here, if you like it more strong and everything. But I am happy with these soft and colorful edits. Let's go on this one. This is not so, that would be not an easy edit, I think, because this is quite hazy here. It seems like it has lost some detail. But let's go to the presets first. Search for one. I will just see what gives me the little, what makes me excited to edit this one. I think the 15 here works well. So, and you see, now you see all the hazy here from the sun hitting the lens in the wrong spot. So what you can do is either enhance the dehaze here, like standard in the basic panel setting. Or what else I have done is a HONEY HUE AI mask that is called basically like the add contrast map. It's an add dehaze map, because this dehaze map will dehaze your photo, but it will take care of the skin tones a bit. It will simply protect your skin tones so you don't get. So I think this now looks a lot better contrast wise. And now what I would do, obviously this guy needs to be enhanced, right? We can't. I think my favorite mask here, we could probably go with the stunning background as well. Let's click stunning background, because it's more saturated than the blue golden background. Yeah, like so. And I will definitely need to have the landscape warmer here, like so. And I don't know, I don't know if I want to change the color. Maybe I will add a little bit more warmth to the sunset by clicking Sky Warm Sunset and just slightly move it up. And we'll probably warm up the whole photo as well a little bit. Or, no, I don't touch the white balance. Let me move the profile up and move the exposure down a bit. And this is, from this to that, in just a few steps, with accurate skin tones, and I love it. Let's go to this one. I like this one because it's quite typically underexposed. It's a cold white balance, like a typical edit or a typical raw file you will see in the group often. Sometimes people struggle with it, so I will just see what fits my vision here. But we obviously have to adjust. I would probably go with 12 here, and see, that's already just the preset and the exposure, but I will now go in and correct the white balance until our skin looks good. Give it a little more magenta as well. And yeah, now I will show you something, because here the focus again is not really on point. So we will go back into the masking panel and go to the adjustments and click rescue mist focus, because I think here it works really amazing. So this will give us at least the feeling of the focus not being so far off when as soon as I zoom out, you know. See, now her eyes are popping more. What I would do with this photo probably is just use the complete retouch again, because I just like it, like so. Make it all a little bit smoother, like nice. And now what we could do, I will show you some of the crazy stuff here. There's, I mean, this would be an edit I would probably leave like that because I like it. And I will now right click and delete all masks first. And now show you what these one-click magic masks can do with one photo by just clicking these. So the first one here is called Bold and Warm, and you click it, and all this you see here is done by one click. And I show you with the masks, without the masks. And this is how quickly you can change the overall look of your photos, and it has retouched skin, her eyes are enhanced, the background is enhanced, everything is pretty much done, and you have done nothing than clicking one button. Again, let's say we go to contrasty and colorful, and you can increase or decrease how much you want it and get this result by one click. And this is before and after this one click mask, so it enhances everything a little bit. It depends always on your photos, of course, how strong sometimes the mask will appear at the first click, because it all depends on everything in the photo. Let's click the Just Stunning mask. Here it will, yeah, it's too much greenery now. We need a little bit more sky on the different photo. I will show you this one. Then there is this called Light and Airy, which will, see, it makes it a lot lighter. It makes it like dreamy, hazy, and this is what you get just with one click on Light and Airy, from this to this. I mean, if this is not amazing, I don't even know. I can't. I really love it. I think it's so good. I'm so convinced that this will be absolutely amazing for you all. We could also just go here and click the Vivid and Lively, which will make it a lot more saturated and everything, but the skin tones will still look perfect, right? We need to, the Vivid and Lively always needs a tad bit more exposure then, and like so, is from this to this colorful edit with just the Vivid and Lively. But I will probably go with the Light and Airy here, because I really liked what Light and Airy did for this photo. But I will move down the exposure again to get in this one. And let's go to the next one. Here, typical again, it's quite unexposed. I think the white balance looks not too bad here. And let's go to the presets and click just one-to-one through all what you get. This is one click. This is one click. And here you see that these are a little bit more cool or neutral. And you will see how much warmer the next ones are a little bit on the skin tones as well. And that they get richer on skin tones, because the overall warmth in these edits here is simply more than the neutral ones. Here's the hazy ones. They are mixed between everything. I think I like 11 here, and what I would do, I would warm up the white balance even more, because I think this needs it. And that's pretty much it. Now I will show you again the AI masks, the one-click magic masks. What happens if you just click these masks? Let's click to Bold and Warm. And you get by this by one click. You simply go from this to that in one click. It's like glowy, bolder, and really warm. Let's remove all masks. Let's click the contrasty and colorful. And you go from this to that in one click. And this is one click with the one click magic mask. That's why I call it magic, because I mean, I would just leave it like that and think it's a freaking amazing edit. I won't show you the other ones. On this photo, I will show you different photos, because I think we have way more to go. Then there's this one. Typical wedding photo. It's crooked again a little bit. Let's straighten it. And I think I Yeah, let's go with any of these warmer ones for the wedding one. I think I like 10 on this one. Honey Hue 10 is fantastic on this one. And for this one, obviously, we will go to the complete portrait retouch. And in just a few seconds, we have this super smooth, amazing wedding portrait edit. And you could now go to the backgrounds probably. I would probably go with the soft and colorful background, or just the colorful background, but probably soft and colorful background. It's probably what I would go with here. Yeah, like just add a little bit more of color because of the, yeah, I think I like that. So let's go to the next one. I've posted this one in the group already, I think, but I wanted just to show you what happens if you one click here with this preset on this photo, right? Like so. This is all a one click. Yeah, it's a hazy background, so you won't be able to see a lot on the sky, but I think it's amazing what happens to their skin. And you can see here the more vintage feel due to film honey hues. And yeah, let's go here with the hazy ones as well, or the black and white, softer one, the more contrasty one, or the colored one. And let's go to the, I think this 11 is great here. Let's go to the indoor shot, because that's like a typical wedding. I mean, it has to be quick, then you maybe don't adjust your exposure too good, and then you have a little bit dark photo, and that's obviously probably a little bit too cool. Let's see what happens if we click any of the presets. Let's click one. We just go with Honey Hue 1 here. Let's see. I would probably, yeah, adjust the white balance. I just clicked auto and removed a little bit of the tint, and now we can just go through and decide which look we like for this photo. And sometimes if I've missed some separation here, but I think this is already a fantastic edit, I'm just looking for the details in the room. You can see that these neutral ones leave the whites pretty white. I like 7 here. 7 is great. And I probably would add a contrast map, because this needs a little bit more power. And I would probably use a background mask, the subject pop mask, but just slightly. That's too much, but just a little bit to have more focus on her. And that would be my edit probably. I would probably warm it up more to give this more like a, or I would probably not warm it up. We could easily go and just use the profile to give this overall more like a light and warm feel, like so. I think that's amazing. Let's see the before and after here. Yeah, let's go to the wedding photo. I totally forgot to show you the before and after here, so you can see what happened. I think it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Let's go to the next photo. A wedding photo again. So I will just show you what happens. Let's go with the warmer ones for this wedding one, so we don't go to all of them. I think I've shown you all of them a lot. I'm mainly looking now which coloration of the flowers I get and everything, what I like the most. Not so easy for me. $13. I personally like 13, but I think probably 14 is better. I don't know. Nah, let's go with 13. 13 is great. I would just brighten it up a little bit and add more warmth through the warm Honey Hue profile. And I think that's it. Maybe we could warm up the white balance as well a bit, but I don't know we need it. No, I wouldn't touch this, and I would just show you again some of the, just for demonstrating purposes, the one-click masks, because on this one it's amazing to see as well. Let's say you wanted to like contrasting colorful because of the flowers in front, so you click contrasting colorful. It says estimated 4 seconds, and this is what you get for if you move the saturation up. Get this, and you see all the colors get enhanced and more beautiful. We can remove it, and maybe we go with the light and airy for this wedding one, because we are like light and airy weddings. In the end, light and airy is always more about how you shoot than edit, but I think this light and airy one-click magic mask really helps getting this more soft and subtle edit, you know? You see? I could just move more light and airy in there, or I can remove the light and airy and use the... If you really want it extremely colorful, you go to the vivid and lively, and you get it, like, get all these flowers enhanced and all like that. I think it looks absolutely amazing, and the one-click magic masks are really one of my favorite parts of this whole bundle. Look, here's the bold and warm. If you just want it super warm and feel like it's a sunset shooting or anything, I think it looks fantastic, like so. Yeah, I really like it. I don't know, let's go through all of them. If you just, here's the contrasting colorful, it's basically somewhere in the middle of them, or the just stunning one. Just stunning one just works often, it just works. Okay, let's go to, I will stick with the contrasting colorful here because I think it looks perfect, and let's go to the next photo. And that again, oh, Lindsay Ann Snyder is also a long time member of the group as well. Let's go, I think it's a Canon R model, but I don't know, let me see. Canon R6, so yeah. I can demonstrate again for you Canon guys that struggle so bad. So we go in here, we search for any preset, and again it's a red hat, so I will see what gives me the strongest reds for the first click. And 4 looks great. I think I will go with 4 here, and we'll click auto white balance and see what Lightroom does. No, I don't like that. I will warm it up more, and I will warm up. I will increase the profile, and I will warm up the white balance, and I will lower the exposure first. I think it's a little bit too warm now. And what I will do now is I will go to the S curve again, the toolkit, because it just fixes the problems that the Canon R models have, in my opinion. You click it and everything comes to life, and you can decide how much life you want in there, and then you can just decide how much warmth you want through the profile. I think it's like so, and then probably give it a more warm white balance. And if we want to have an even more warmer feel, we go to the AI masks and click the golden glow background, and so we get more of this warm feeling. And this is my edit of this photo. I think it looks fantastic. I really love it. Let's go into this one, and I will just one-click presets here just for demonstrating purposes. See, this is after one click, this is what you get. This is your base to start. And I mean, this feels like a head start, right? Here are the warmer ones. I think these look fantastic. The overall feeling, I don't know. I think it's so good. Next one. And I will go a little bit quicker with these edits here. I think I will need a warm one here. Raise the exposure, and let's see what auto white balance does, because sometimes we are lazy, right? So we just click auto white balance, and we warm it up even more, give it some magenta, like so. And it's really harsh light. That's the reason why we miss some color in the background, because the sun is hitting it all. So we get these kind of washed out colors. So I definitely want to change that. We'll click stunning background for this one. We'll decrease this a little bit, and we'll add an overall contrast map, like so. And with these two, with this contrast map and the stunning background, this will be my final edit. So we go from this to that in just a few seconds. I really love it. It's so good. I really love it. Oh, next one, Shannon. Oh, one of our mods as well. So let's go and straighten it again, because as I told you, I like my photos straight, because I can't edit crooked. It will drive me bonkers. So, like so. That's fine for me for now. Let's find a preset, and this is obviously to code as well, so we will have to warm it up a lot because but I want to show you first what happens when I just click a preset. That's the one click. even with an underexposed cold photo, this is what you get. And now I'm just looking for the dress and how I like this and what I like most. I feel like the 3 is emphasizing her dress well, or 2. Let me see. Yeah, I will go with 2 here. Then I will click auto again and let's see what Lightroom is giving me. And I feel like that's pretty awesome. And what I now want to do, because this background looks like not like Hawaii, like it should look. So let's go to the colorful background first. Just add some saturation. I mean, it doesn't look like it did much, but it does, trust me. Now let's go to this dramatic sky top as well. Now we are already talking, right? And now we need something for our overall low ground. Contrasty or subject. I will go with the contrasty background, like so. And we'll probably be done with it. That would be my edit. I added 2 masks to the background. I didn't add any mask. I don't think she needs any skin retouching. I mean, I could show you what happens if I just use the Soft & Skin Pro here. That you can see the creamy goodness of the Soft & Skin Pro. See? If I increase it like this, then you get this super smooth, super amazing skin, right? And this is my, let's see, before and after this photo, but I have to remove a little bit of the Soft & Skin Pro, it's too much. Let's go like 65 to just give it a little bit of a finish. And yeah, I think I will show you a few more of these here. There are some newborn edits, because I think these are often topic in our group, and now I will show you that I listen, I look what you guys want, and I see that I find the perfect solution. So let's go with any preset. Let's go with HONEY HUE 4. That's the first click. 7. I like 7 because he's like she, I don't know, is popping out more. And I would probably don't touch the white balance, just slightly add more tint because I like his skin more peachy. So now, without doing anything else, I don't touch the white balance, nothing. I just go to the HONEY HUE masks, scroll down to my one-click magic, and there is something called Newborn White Studio. And it is what it says. It is an AI mask, a really complex AI mask that will do anything you probably need for a nice White Studio newborn, and it will take care of skin and everything. I would just click it. Yes. And this is what you get after clicking the Newborn White Studio, right? Say if I go here and I just disable it. So see, even the blemishes on his shoulder are retouched because of the skin retouching that is happening. It's removing a little bit of the redness. You get the clean white background, and the cool thing, you can go in there and decide how much you want of it, right? You can increase, or you can go even like really crazy, so it's almost like too bright, but you can decide how much you want this to affect your photo. And I just leave it on the default setting. This is 100, and would probably just drop the exposure a tiny bit. This will bring, just like 0.05. It's just like nothing. It's just because I'm probably a nerd and wanted, but see before and after. And I feel like this is really good. This is so good. Let's see if I can disable the mask again for you here. I mean, I think this is game-changing for sure. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I really put so much work in there just to show you guys, or give you guys such an amazing tool set of presets, profiles, and masks, so you can edit fast and beautiful. Really. So let me show you the one-clicks here. On this one, I love this photo because it represents so many skin tones. Here you see, you get white snow, You get accurate skin tones with HONEY HUE too, because the first 9 presets are pretty neutral and there's not a lot of color going on, so we won't see crazy differences. You would just see that the hues and sometimes a little bit different. And then here are the warmer ones, then you can see that everything gets a little bit more warmer tint here. 14 is amazing in my opinion, looks great. But yeah, I think that number 1 or number 2, if you really want the snow to be white, are great. 14 look great for my taste, and I would probably go with 14 here and just call it a day with 1 click. You get this. I think that's that's perfect. I don't know if you can disagree here, but I think it's perfect. Let's go to this one, and I have 2 things here for you. First off, there's also sometimes this. People want this really warm look inside, right? This is like so. I'm just increasing the exposure and get this one here. And again, I think it's a little bit crooked, right? Like so, not straight. So you could leave it like that because it's pretty clean, or you could now go to the masks and add the contrast map because you say, I want it more contrasty, like so. You could do that. Or you say, I don't know, maybe I just want it more light and airy, so you click the 1 click, light and airy, then you get this, let it cook, then you get this super soft look. Or you say, I don't know, this is why, even if this is not a white studio setup, probably you say I want this to have this newborn white studio look, so you click newborn white studio and you get this super clean look. And this is all the same preset, right? We use the really warm preset, and this mask takes care of it, and you get this super clean edit. You could also let's say you don't want this one, and you simply remove, all masks are gone, but you want to, and you want this little guy, I mean with this preset he's not even that red, but normally I will show you with a different preset that he's pretty red. And let me go up here to a different one where we can see that he's quite red. Let's say this one, and you can see he's a little bit red. So we go into the masks and click newborn retouch, and you can see now the redness is already a lot better. And we go to the remove redness section, click color range, and simply click on any area of his face, and now we can decide how much redness we want to have removed from his face. Like, let's say we want him a little bit less red, like so. We zoom out, and now he feels like he never has been red in his life. Even if his life probably was pretty short. But yeah, this is this. You can, I mean, there is, I can't even tell you so much more. Let's go with this photo here. It's from James Donovan again, because I know you people ask for a red dress. And so I made sure that there's like a really red dress and really red nails, and you see they are already screaming in my face, right? That's not with the preset or anything. I'm just wanting to ensure you see how bright this red is. So, and if a lot of people you want like really accurate colors, then the first batch of presets in the cool neutral area are definitely your choice. See, it adds warmth, no, for sure. It's a cloudy day, but you keep your red, right? It's really, really accurate for an edit. And if you like the warmer ones, then the layer of warmth will get stronger, and the reds might be sometimes a little bit off. But as you see, even there are some in there that look pretty accurate on reds. Me personally, I never go for really, really natural tones, and if you really want accurate tones but a little bit of contrast and stuff, then you need to go by mellow or unblemished, because unblemished is the little bit more vibrant natural one, and mellow is the more contrasty but natural one, and they will keep colors as they are. They won't mess with them, even with reds. This one here, they are good. The first ones are really good, as you can see if you show it before and after. It's enhanced, it's brighter and everything, but the tonality of the red is pretty close. And keep in mind, reds is always in the skin tones as well. So if I want to have a preset that works on all skin tones and doesn't mess up, I can't mess with the reds as well too crazy, because otherwise we will have problems with the skin tones. And I think skin tones are way more, for my work, are way more important than a red dress. And I rarely photograph red, and this set is not meant to be crazy accurate on colors. This is more like an artistic, warm preset that will still preserve a lot of colors accurately. So just keep that in mind. You see here, I think this red is pretty dang good, but if you want really accurate tones, go buy mellow or unblemished. That's the best solution. And I think we have it. I think you have seen so many other edits already in the group as well. I think this video is really long now, but I wanted to show you everything. I'm just thinking if I have missed anything. Again, here's the toolkit. These are self-explanatory. The clarity, dynamic range stuff, the profile appliance. The toolkit is really just a little help. I think the most important one is the tone curves here. I will show you something on this photo real quick with the tone curves so that you see what happens if, let's say, I go with 11 here. That's the one-click edit. And let's say you want softer blacks, so you click the soft blacks tone curve and it will just simply lift blacks and shadows a little bit. But it won't touch your shadows and blacks here, so you have still some wiggle room here to play around, but it will make it overall softer. Then there's soft lights tone curve, so the blacks will be back to the default settings, but the lights will be like these super pulled down lights, Some people like it. Sometimes you just want slightly less pronounced lights and highlights. And then there's the last option. It's the super soft tone curve, which is basically a reverse S curve and will diminish the contrast basically exactly in the different way. And if you sometimes just want to flatten out the photo a little bit, maybe because there's too much dynamic range or harsher light, then you can soften it with the super soft tone curve. And yeah, I think I have shown everything. There's the masks. These masks are basically self-explanatory. I have forgotten one mask I wanted to show you. Let me show you. Yeah, let's go with this photo here. There's one mask. It's called, and I always think about what's coming up, and since fall is coming up and sometimes we don't get fall colors this easily, then there is a background mask called fall colored background. And what it does, it's basically giving you nice and fall colored background. That's why it's called. Some of them are simply self-explanatory, and I don't even need to explain. But this is, look at how green this was, and look at this. And I will show you a different mask as well. Let me remove the fall colored background here. And let's say the greens you see here are not to your liking. Then you can go to the adjustment, and there's one mask called Calm Down Greens. You click it, you wait, and then you can adjust your greens without, he's wearing a green shirt, right? So you obviously don't want to desaturate or change his shirt, and you won't. You simply won't. You can affect all the greens, and if you go in the HSL settings, which is a global setting, you will mess up his shirt, but we won't. You can if you like, but you won't. With this one, you can tame down the greens in the overall photo, and you keep everything. And that's always, I've really put crazy amount of thoughts, work, heart, blood, sweat and tears into these presets, profiles, masks and the toolkit, and I'm really convinced that this is a freaking amazing set of the best I have ever made. I will say it now. This is the best whole tool set for beginning and professional photographers I've ever made. I will have the same support you ever know from. If you have any questions once you've bought these presets and you have any questions and you need help, come into the group, ask anything. I'm always there. I'm always helping. I'm always sharing my full knowledge. I think this whole video here will already teach you so much. And yeah, what else to say? This is HONEY HUE.